Good evening. Good evening, everybody. If I could ask everyone over on this side of the room to come on in and to maybe hold conversation for the next 30 minutes, that would be fantastic. I know we have a huge crowd tonight, and I want to thank you all for coming to join us. And we promise the presentation portion of this evening will be brief, but since we have a captive audience, we thought we would use it. So hello. Thank you. And thank you all so much for joining us this evening at the Portland Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual event and awards presentation, Imagine Portland. My name is Quincy Hensel, and I proudly hold the position of CEO at the Portland Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. I saw him get that going. Tonight we celebrate what Portland has become, and we start to build a vision of what Portland could be. 5 years ago, I would guess that most of us in this room had never been here to Thompson's Point, which was formerly a 30-acre rail yard. Now, Thompson's Point has become a destination with more in store. And on the other side of the room this evening, we have been revealing some photos of the future development that's going to come to this area. On the left, when you walked in, you saw images of the future Children's Museum and Theater of Maine. Now, the Children's Museum has recently launched a capital campaign to build a new facility that will be able to serve twice the number of children, families, and educators, over 200,000 people a year. And right when you walked into the building straight ahead, you may have seen a rendition of the Hotel Portland project. Now, this is a 148-room boutique hotel that's part of the Marriott Tribute portfolio, which is coming here to Thompson's Point. Hotel Portland is truly a crucial part of the ongoing transformation of Thompson's Point. Like the rest of Thompson's Point, the hotel's DNA is all about embracing Portland's and Maine's unique history, culture, and status as one of the world's great small cosmopolitan cities. The hotel will actually be connected to this event space to better serve the various event attendees who will be coming here every year. I would now like to take a moment and play our keynote video for the evening, and now our keynote highlights a lot of the transformation and development that's happening in our region, but specifically here at Thompson's Point.
It reminds me of some of the cooler developments in other cities that happen in sort of fringe-ish places.
They weren't just looking for another tenant. They weren't looking to just build out the lowest cost possible. Every aspect of what they wanted to make Thompson's Point included bringing people together.
It's unique, it's aesthetically beautiful. We have all these original structures that are awesome. The multi-use component of it, I think, is huge for Portland.
It was raw, old, tired, and in need of a lot of tender, loving care, and I adored these raw brick buildings.
I don't think it was hard to envision that it could be a beautiful space, because it already sort of was a beautiful space without being built.
There's a different energy, there's going to be a different ambiance, and everything that's down here is being purpose-built. There's sort of one way in and one way out, and the people who are here, they're not passing through. You come to Thompson's Point for a reason. Generally speaking, what that reason is to have a good time.
People are really gravitating away from that urban sprawl and living way out into the suburbs. And they may not want to live in downtown Portland, but I think people and the citizens of the Portland region want to have an area where they can walk to and have a little neighborhood hub.
Looking out 10, 15, 20 years, I think our hope and goal is that everything that we add continues to take its cues from what's here and what's working and continues to add to the sense of place and the experience.
The development here at Thompson's Point is so creative and visionary, and it would be fantastic to see this recreated throughout the region. And it's important for the Chamber to help cultivate this type of economic development in the future.
That was great. I'd like to thank our friends and the team over at Knack Factory for the great work on that video, and you'll see some of their handiwork here shortly when we get into the awards segment of our presentation. Just a housekeeping announcement. If anyone over there wants seats, there are plenty of seats over here, so please feel free to make your way around the back of the room. So it has been a great year for the Chamber, and we could not have accomplished all that we have without all of you. Shortly after this event last year, I stepped into my current position as CEO, and I want to thank all of you for the incredible support you have shown me and our organization as I transitioned into my position and as the Chamber began to transition as well. Ooh, sorry. All of us at the Chamber really took this period of change as an opportunity to just pause and to ask our members, what is it you want, what is it you need, and what's the role the Chamber could and should play in our community? We heard you and we took action. And I wanted to share with you a few of our newest initiatives that we have recently launched this year. We have been curating a seminar and educational series to better support our small business members. We created a networking event geared towards and for professional women, and this has been met with huge enthusiasm. We also took what has worked so well with our signature program, Eggs and Issues, and made it even better, adding local brews, a much later start time, and cool venues, and we cleverly named this new program Kegs and Issues. We put a focus on making our Chamber more inclusive and diverse, better reflecting the changing community that's around us. We sought out our fellow business owners who are immigrants new to Maine, who are new to our country, and we asked them to become a part of our Chamber of Commerce. We also continue to engage in really important policy issues. The Chamber took a critical stand in last November's election. As the Portland Press-Herald stated, the business community was a force in the Portland city election. We worked hard, we put our money where our mouth is, and we worked to defeat 2 citywide referendums, one dealing with zoning and one dealing with rent control. Both would have had chilling effects on development in Portland. One of our biggest initiatives this past year has been our Case for Growth effort. Last year at this event, I spoke to you about how the Chamber, working with our allied organizations, the Portland Society for Architecture, the Muskie School of Public Service, and Creative Portland, would engage the broad community in a conversation about creating a culture and an environment that supports both growth and change. And tonight, I'm reporting back to you on this initiative, which has quickly become one of the Chamber's top priorities. The question resulting from months of collaboration and study was not whether Portland and the metropolitan region would grow, but how and how well. What we found was the absence of a widely supported vision of Portland's future and a strategy to realize it. The Chamber knew we had a unique role to play in this initiative, and we decided that we could be the one to provide the framework to have this community-wide conversation. We engaged a consultant, and we convened a Chamber ad hoc committee to really help us define what this initiative was and to help us create a mission and guiding principles to move forward. Our mission for this effort is to build community will for broadly shared and sustainable growth that affords opportunity for all. And our guiding principles are focused on collaborative leadership, economic opportunity, and culture of growth. I'd like to thank our ad hoc committee for the hours they spent defining our mission and our guiding principles. It was not an easy process, but I know that the outcome is a solid foundation for our future work. Having gone from conceptualization to implementation, we've now moved on to strategic planning, led by our steering committee, which is made up of members from our 4 founding organizations, coalition building, which is made up of a broad-based group of organizations and individuals across all sectors, asset development, which is developing a comprehensive brand and corresponding message, which leads to a shared vision. And finally, resourcing, raising the funds needed to move this forward. This initiative is a strategic campaign to engage the greater Portland community in a dialogue about how to envision and realize the community we want in this unprecedented time of growth and expansion. What are the next steps? We need your input, your participation, and your support. I'm asking each of you tonight to commit yourselves and your organizations to this important work. Please do not leave here tonight without filling out and turning in one of these cards. You should find them in your brochure. People will be gathering them at the door here as you enter back into the reception area, or you can bring it to the reception area. But we really want to start engaging folks now, businesses, individuals, organizations in our community, and this is a great way to let us know that you're interested in being a part of this. There is much more to come on this initiative, and I hope that you will join us. So none of what I just mentioned would be possible tonight without the support of our generous sponsors. First and foremost, a very special thank you to our vision sponsor this evening, MEMIC. MEMIC has been a very critical and influential partner at the Chamber. MEMIC has also welcomed a new leader this year to the helm, Mike Bork, as CEO. Mike is no stranger to the Chamber, having recently served as board chair, and he's been a strong advocate of our organization and our initiatives, and you'll actually hear from Mike here very shortly. Our other partners this evening include WEX, Bank of America, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Machias Savings Bank, and we'd also like to thank Pierce Atwood, Headlight Audiovisual, Knack Factory, Clark Insurance, Patrons Oxford Insurance, Mercy Hospital, Moody's Collision, and Unified Parking Partners. And to our venue host this evening, which is Brick South, who's welcomed us into this truly phenomenal space. I'd like to thank Chris Thompson and Jed Trobe specifically for their partnership. And as always, a thank you to our special community partners who support all of our Chamber activities and initiatives: Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Spectrum Healthcare Partners, the University of Southern Maine, and Southern Maine Community College. How about a round of applause for all of our generous sponsors? The architects of tonight's event also deserve a mention. Now, the vision for this evening's festivities was brought to us by Sally Newhall of Sea Glass Events. She has a fan club. The fabulous Sally. She is such a joy to work with, and just look at what she was able to do. It's fantastic. Spencer Albee has been our DJ this evening. And you will hear Spencer shortly. He is a part of our awards presentation. Mike Geneseo created the graphics for Imagine Portland this year. I do think that's pretty cool, what he did. And I also want to thank the Chamber staff who really worked tirelessly to make sure this event came together. Tommy, Ben, Nora, Nicole, and Ann. They are the team that makes the Chamber go round, and I am very grateful for their dedication to our organization and to our mission. And finally, a very special thank you to our regional board of directors who have provided me and our organization with steadfast support and leadership. And also our countless volunteers, our community chamber board members, our committee members, our ambassadors. You help us each and every day carry out our mission of supporting our members and promoting prosperity across the region. An applause. Our volunteers definitely deserve a round of applause, so thank you. And now is the part of the program where we get to turn our attention to our awards and honor this year's award recipients.
To present our first award of the evening, I would like to welcome to the stage Jane Parker of Bank of America.
All right, good evening. As you just heard, my name is Jane Parker. I'm a Senior Vice President for Commercial Banking with Bank of America. It's my distinct honor to present this evening's award for leadership in the private sector. This award is presented to an individual or an organization who has made outstanding contributions to the greater Portland community through active leadership or individual efforts. This year's recipient captures the very essence of this award, having a clear vision of growth for the company she leads and following through on it. Since starting at WEX as a senior financial analyst in 1997 or so, Melissa Smith has risen through the ranks and now holds the position of CEO. Melissa led the company's IPO in 2005 and has continued to spearhead WEX's dramatic growth, both organically and through acquisitions. At the end of 2016, WEX achieved a significant milestone by exceeding $1 billion in revenues. Pretty impressive. WEX continues to rapidly expand with a global presence and a future full of opportunity. That future includes a new worldwide headquarters on Portland's iconic waterfront in the Old Port. I can't wait to see that. If you would now turn your attention to the screens, we have a short video to share.
I think my role in part is to be a provocateur. The more senior you get, the more likely it is that all you hear is good news. And so a lot of what I do is to try to solicit feedback, and so you hear not just the good things, but you actually hear the whole story. I've been really lucky. I've been able to do 9 different things in the time that I've been at WEX, and that's been a great experience for me. The people, to me, are the best part, and I can hear that when I talk to customers, when I travel around the world. There's a connection that people make to the employees of WEX, and that's true employee to employee, but it's also true employee to customer. It's part of what I think this makes this place so special. We started in Maine over 30 years ago, and we've continued to grow. The success, I think, in part is because of our roots in Maine, and it's part of the culture of the company. It's part of why we win business. It's because of that relationship orientation, that connection that people make, which I really do think has a lot to do with the fact that we're based in Maine. And I think that you can look around here, not just at WEX, but at other companies, and say that we've been able to create something pretty interesting in a place that people want to move here from other parts of the world because of the environment that we've created here in Maine.
And now it's with great pleasure that I present this award for leadership in the private sector to Melissa Smith, CEO of WEX.
So I get to say, in many ways, I'm living the dream. And that starts, and first I want to say thank you. Thank you for this, Quincy. The work that the Portland Chamber of Commerce does is so important, and you highlighted many ways just now, but that's been true over a number of years, and so we're very proud to be part of this. But for me personally, it is such a joy every morning to wake up with the most positive person in the world, my husband, Brian Cochran. So I'm going to say thank you to him. I'll say that over and over again. And then to get to go to work and work with such amazingly talented, diverse, passionate people who care about the commitment, the quality of what we do. They care about their customers, they care about each other, and they care about ultimately the legacy that we leave behind. Because at the end of the day, as leaders, that's really what we want. We want to make sure that we do things in a way that they're enduring and that you can build upon them. And something as important as our headquarters downtown, every time that we grow and we hit this new milestone where we create a very visual representation of where we are, it's so awesome because you can look back and say, okay, we started here, this is where we are now, but in a few years, we're going to be there. And the fact that that is all based in my home state of Maine makes me so proud. And so I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to the Wexers that are here. You make me proud every day. And to my husband, who picks up all the pieces that get scattered around from the chaos of our lives. And thank you all. Bye.
To present the next award, please welcome to the stage Bill Whitmore from Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
Good evening. As noted, I'm Bill Whitmore. I'm the Vice President of Sales for Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield in Maine. I'm truly honored tonight to award this year's Leadership in Economic Development. The award is presented annually to an individual or organization that has assisted in promoting or enhancing the overall economic climate of Greater Portland. And when we talk about economic development in the Greater Portland region, we often focus on workforce development and people. It's no secret that our state and our region face a significant worker shortage. Finding new skilled employees is at the top of the wish list for every company. And my wife, who is a human resources executive, tells me that pretty much every day. Tonight's Leadership in Economic Development Award recipient is a leader in developing their workforce by hiring immigrants from the ranks of those who have sought asylum in Maine, primarily from Africa and Vietnam. SIGCO, a preeminent glass and architectural metal fabricator and distributor, has made it a priority to hire and train Mainers at its Westbrook headquarters and facility, and in doing so has tapped into a vibrant base of new workers. SIGCO has developed a partnership with the Portland Adult Education System to identify immigrants looking for good-paying jobs that provide opportunities for growth. So with the pattern, we'll have a quick video.
SIGCO is like my real family. I came here with my little English, and I got this job not knowing the culture and everything. But SIGCO integrated me in this community.
Everybody who works here are friendly, and I love what I do. You know, it's fun. It's just like a community. It's different people from different places. There is people from Sudan. There's people from Rwanda. There's, of course, people who were born here. They're just like your family, your brothers, you know.
Dev is very social. He doesn't speak that much, but when you get to know him, you will see he's got a big heart. He helps us as immigrants and refugees to be integrated in this country.
Oh my God, he's awesome. Once you tell him your name, he will never forget your name, and I don't even know what to say. He's that awesome. He's wonderful, and we just kind of family.
So I'm fortunate. SIGCO is a customer and a partner of Anthem's, so I've had the opportunity to tour their facility, and to me, it's kind of a hidden gem, and I hope that tonight a lot more people will know about SIGCO. So, presenting the award for Leadership in Economic Development to SIGCO.
Hi. How are you? I'm Dave McElhenney. I'm the president and I guess the owner of Citco. And this is Cindy Capeless, who is our HR manager. And I want to start by thanking Bill. That was very nice. The last time I had contact with Bill, he was asking me for money. I suggest you call me tomorrow. It might be a better result. So thank you, Bill. It's very humbling to come up here after Melissa and Wex. It's like batting cleanup for Babe Ruth. But at any rate, here we are. So, Cindy, get over here. I first want to thank the Chamber for their sensitivity in awarding this to our company, not just an individual. And if it were to go to an individual, she deserves it. Cindy and I have worked on and off together for 28 years, and my guess is the next time I ask her to join my company, she'll probably say no. But thank God this time she said yes. So I want to talk a little bit about our company. I'll be brief. So I heard the term Greater Portland just a few minutes ago. Well, we have a definition of that at Citco. Just 2 days ago, an employee of ours who had gone on vacation to Dallas called Cindy up to tell her that he couldn't come to work the next day because he was in Portland, Oregon. He had gotten on a plane in Dallas and figured there was only one Portland in the US. And so at any rate, that's Citco's version of Greater Portland. All right, just a couple more comments. As Bill said, we are New England's largest wholesale fabricating distributor of architectural glass and aluminum. Glass is everywhere, and we try to be, but none of you know that. My guess is there are a few of you who have seen our trucks, and I've had a few calls over the years, people complimenting us on our drivers' unambiguous hand signals. That hasn't happened much recently, thank God. So I think these days, and hopefully from this presentation, the next time you see our trucks, there'll be a little bit better recognition. We're a good company. I want to thank my teammates, our senior management team, and our production supervisors in the second or third row. And I don't think we forced them to come. Thank you. I want to thank you all for this honor. We are truly humbled and gratified. April, I want to thank you. April's my wife, and it's been a long road, 20 years. Thank you very much. Citco's been a tough place to be supportive of, April, and thank you very much. We work hard, we provide exceptional service and products, but most importantly, we always try to do the right thing in everything we do. And we want to thank the Chamber for both appreciating that and recognizing that. Thank you so much. And Cindy, thank you. She deserves this.
And now, please welcome back to the stage Melissa Smith from WEX to present our next award.
I like the music. All right, this is the short thing. So it's my distinct honor to present this evening's award for leadership in public sector. This award is presented to an individual or organization who has made a significant contribution to the future of Greater Portland. This year, the Leadership in the Public Sector Award is being awarded to two individuals whose shared vision of a thriving and growing Portland, along with countless hours and endless effort, allowed them to succeed in reaching a successful result on 2 Portland referendums this past election day. When faced with ballot referendums that could have had a very strong impact on smart development and hampered growth in our region, both Heather Sanborn of Rising Tide Brewing and Britt Vitalius of Vitalius Real Estate Group stepped up and led successful campaigns to successfully advocate for the right pro-growth result. Heather Sanborn was able to rally a group called One Portland. Because of Heather's leadership, zoning remains focused on a fair, broadly based approach to development rather than an approach which allows a small minority to drive development. Heather's efforts embody the spirit of growth and prosperity in Portland. At the same time, Britt Vitalius spearheaded the Say No to Rent Control campaign, which ensured that Portland's housing market will continue to thrive and benefit all of Portland's citizens. His important work ensured that Portland continues with a comprehensive, market-focused approach to housing. We'd like to turn now to a video, please.
Every single package of Rising Tide says handcrafted in Portland, Maine. And there's a certain pride that goes with being part of this Portland community. It's been really exciting to see how it's been revitalized over the last 20, 25 years. I ran the One Portland campaign to defeat question 2 on the Portland ballot, which was about zoning changes. And I felt very strongly that that was a very short-sighted and undemocratic way of changing our land use policy, and that it could really cripple Portland and our ability to build affordable housing and to expand our infrastructure, not just Portland, but all of the state of Maine as we continue to grow our economy toward utilizing our agricultural resources in a value-added way and shipping our goods all over the world. I felt very strongly that we needed to defeat that referendum, and we were able to do that with a huge outpouring of support from all kinds of different groups throughout the city, including the chamber. And so we really appreciated that. And it was a big help in defeating question 2.
Real estate is so enjoyable and dynamic. There's just so much going on, from the properties to the people and the contracts, the marketing. There's never a boring day. We're always learning something new, and we're very lucky to be doing it in Portland. So I'm also a landlord. I own 6 properties with 30 units, so that's really a side job for me, but certainly informs my day job of helping people buy and sell their own multifamily properties, and it's a lot of work, but I really love it. We saw this referendum coming down the pike when the proponents were starting to gather signatures, and I think partly because of my position in the Southern Maine Landlord Association, but also just felt like the right thing to do, that we had to get involved early on and get our arms around this and engage. And so we just jumped right in very early. I grew up in the area. My father had an active role in the community, and I feel very fortunate that I'm able to exist in this community and hopefully exert some positive influence, because I just love it. I love being here. I love what I do, and feel very lucky to be here.
So it's my pleasure to welcome up on stage for the Public Sector Leadership Awards, Heather and Brett.
I think it was determined I was going to go first since I was question 1. Thank you very much to the Chamber. Thank you, Quincy. I want to thank Yasmin, my wife, who was fully supportive when it became clear I was basically getting a second job for a few months. But I also want to recognize the fact that we really had a whole team. And while I was out there as the face of a lot of the No on One movement, we really had a whole team. We organized early, and just some great players that really made it able to be a success. But what started out as really housing advocates and housing owners quickly expanded and became contractors and realtors and low-income housing advocates. And what we realized by the end of the campaign was that, ironically, we were the grassroots movement. And we were fighting back against sort of these negative forces that were pushing back against what is changing. There's a lot of change in our community right now. I think this theme of this evening about Imagine Portland and the need for a forward vision is just so critical. And both these referendums were reactions to or having to deal with the fact that there is always resistance to change. And Professor Dick Barringer brought a quote to me recently by an urban planner named Susan Silberberg, said, change is inevitable, progress is optional. So I encourage everyone to stay involved with the Chamber and the efforts of Change for Growth and the vision, because we need positive vision in this community. Otherwise, we're going to keep fighting and fighting against things, reacting against referendum. It's a lot of wasted energy. We should be focusing on progress. Thank you.
Thanks. Britt and I really did wind up very much working in tandem on this. And he shared with me polling about 5 weeks before the vote that showed that we were losing by 35 points. I was shocked by that because I couldn't understand how anyone would vote for a referendum that said that only maybe 35 people will get to decide what could be built in our community, as opposed to our entire community having a voice. But it took an enormous number of people in order to overcome that kind of deficit in such a short amount of time. We were able to put together a very diverse coalition that included affordable housing advocates, the folks from Preble Street, the fishermen on our working waterfront, and Maine Medical Center, and so many more. And so I just want to call out a few names, because there were people who literally showed up on Saturday at Rising Tide in late October and took brochures and went to the farmers market and personally had conversations. And some of those people included people you might not expect to just do that kind of grassroots canvassing, including the Chamber's own Quincy Hensel and Andrea Maker and Ethan Boxer-Maycomer. So many more people were devoting their time as well. Gary Vogel and Paul Peck, Tom Bell, David Pearson, Mark Swan from Preble Street, the team at Bernstein Schur, and Dana Topman at Vesta, Jay Waterman at Portland Housing Authority, Jeff Sanders from Maine Med. So many people who were taking time away from their normal jobs in order to ensure that we defeated this referendum. And it would be bad for me to leave the stage without also thanking my husband and my business partner, Nathan Sanborn, who gives me the ability to serve in the legislature and run this crazy campaign to defeat what would have been a very terrible outcome for Portland. So thank you, hon. And thank you to the Chamber for recognizing our efforts tonight.
And now please welcome to the stage Jim Irwin of Pierce Atwood to present this evening's final award.
So good evening, everyone. I'm sure you're glad to know this is the final award. I'm a partner at Pierce Atwood and the outgoing chair of the Portland Regional Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. And the reason I mention that is because I just want to steal a minute from my time to make one observation from my perspective as chair. You know, it's often said that the most important thing that a board can do is to choose the right leader. And I just want to say thank you, Quincy, for being that right leader, for being there when we needed you, and for the great work you've done. So I'm here to present the Visionary Volunteer of the Year Award. Volunteers are the lifeblood of the Portland Regional Chamber, of its community chambers, and Propel. We have about 150 board members in those organizations that make them go. Many of them volunteer significant amounts of their time, and they do it over a span of many years. They're the ones who give chamber membership its value to all of you year after year. And they eventually they move on to make way for new volunteer leaders. So those next leaders, they would be many of you folks. You may not know it yet, but we need you to step up and start getting involved as the next wave of leadership in the chamber. We need you to step forward, in the words of our other presenters, because of the need for positive and progressive growth and not fighting negative battles, to support a healthy economy and to increase opportunity for our kids and our new Mainers. So each year, in the spirit of this volunteerism, we recognize an outstanding volunteer, and it's a great pleasure for me to present this year's Visionary Volunteer Award, of the year to Michelle Raber. This award is presented to someone whose hard work and volunteerism, character, have benefited the Chamber greatly and whose dedication has been instrumental to our success. Michelle has given countless hours to both the Portland Regional Chamber as well as the Scarborough Chamber Board. She served as president of the Scarborough Chamber twice. She currently sits on the Scarborough Chamber Marketing Committee, and she has been an incredible supporter and champion of the Chamber overall, especially in this last year of change and transition. And now let's turn to the video, and then I'll present the award.
I have been with State Farm for 24 years total, 14 years as a local business owner here in Scarborough. The whole idea of helping people was very attractive to me. And as I learned more about insurance, I realized I'm really counseling people on their financial health. And so if we create that safe space for someone to tell us about you and your life, then we can help set up the right protection plan and really help set them up for success. If someone gets to know me and they like me and they trust me, then they'll tell me about their world, and I can help make sure that we're protecting that world. I'm from Maine, so I got married in Scarborough, and then we moved to Scarborough because this is where I wanted to live and where I wanted to have our family. And then when we had the opportunity to open a business in Scarborough, so I got to live in the community that I served in Maine, just outside of Portland. It was the perfect place. When all the stars aligned and those three things lined up over that 3-year period, I knew this was the place for me.
So please welcome this year's Visionary Volunteer Award recipient, Michelle Raber.
Wow, thank you very much. So the dog in the video, not even my dog. That's Harley, the office dog. He lives upstairs and he would rather hang out with us, so he greets customers. But yeah, so one of my favorite motivational speakers is Will Smith. And so one of the quotes that always resonates with me and the team that I work with is, if you're going to be here, there's a necessity to make a difference. If you're not making someone's life better, you are wasting your time. And that's what I feel like my chamber volunteerism helps give me that avenue to help make a difference. My parents, Phil and Betty Grondin, do a lot of work, volunteering, doing philanthropic work. My brothers and I, we continue to try and live within that spirit to this day. So I really thank the Chamber for me being a small business to get this capacity to help Scarborough and the greater Portland region. And it's just an amazing thing for a small business owner of 5 insurance agents and myself. I'm very thankful to State Farm. I'm gonna have my 25-year anniversary with the company, so it's really consistent with that life value of helping people in their worst moments. I get to help them plan and recover from those unexpected incidents, and I feel really blessed to help many people with that. I have to thank my team. I have a small team of 5 agents who are powerful. They are great, great people that I get to work with every day and help represent our brand so well. And they give me the time to be out and about in the community while taking care of our customers and continuing to spread the word. To my Scarborough Community Chamber Board, where are you out there? You guys are awesome. I wouldn't be here without you. So really, I will accept this award on your behalf. It's really our leadership within the Greater Portland Regional Community Chamber and how we execute the goals that we set out year in and year out that helps make us be a good role model within this organization. And I can't wait to see what we do next. So thank you very much for that. And lastly, my husband, Jeff, he has to take care of the home front while I am doing many chamber activities after hours. I think this is the first event that he's gotten to come to. So Jeff, thank you very much. And again, thank you to the chamber for this award. Very much appreciate it, very humbled and honored. So thank you very much.
Please welcome our charity sponsor from Machias Savings Bank, Larry Barker, who will reveal the results of tonight's Vote to Give.
Good evening. Love the Imagine Portland theme. You know, in my experience, all forms of achievement, all efforts that result in great progress began with imagination. We imagined having a branch presence in Portland for years. Last year, that vision became a reality. I'm happy to say it's been an exceptional first year, really beyond anything that we imagined. 10 years ago, we imagined creating a cash management group, a top-notch, exceptional cash management team. Today, I'm proud to say we have the deepest and most talented team in the state of Maine, ready to help your business. We have the privilege of being a mutual savings bank. Creating shareholder wealth is not part of the equation for us. We're a purpose-driven company, and our purpose is simply to improve our communities across Maine. In 2017, we contributed over $700,000 from the bank and our community foundation, and our employees contributed over 10,000 hours of volunteer labor. It's easy for us to imagine if we continue on this same trajectory, it won't be long, and we'll be giving away $1 million a year to many worthy causes in Maine and volunteering over 20,000 hours. It's great to be here this evening in this incredible facility, imagining an even brighter future for this great city. A few years ago, Chris Thompson and Jed Trobe imagined what's now known as Thompson's Point. Machias Savings Bank helped them bring that vision, that dream to reality by financing the construction and then the permanent financing for the building we're in this evening. We're looking forward to being part of more success stories in 2018. Now I'd like to take one more opportunity, one more step in continuing our progress in Portland through your valuable input in voting tonight. One of these 5 nonprofit organizations will receive $5,000 from Machias Savings Bank. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Maine, Good Shepherd Food Bank, Opportunity Alliance, Ruth's Reusable Resources, and Woodford's Family Services. We're pleased to donate $5,000 this evening to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Maine. Thank you, Big Brothers Big Sisters, for the incredible difference you make in the Portland community. To close out tonight's program, I'm honored to welcome to the stage Mike Bork, President and CEO of Mimic. Just yesterday, Mimic was on the receiving end of high praise when the insurance industry's standard-setting body, ACORD, named Mimic the the top workers' comp company in the nation. Let's congratulate Mike and his entire team at Mimic for this national recognition. Mike Bohr.
Well, thank you. Thank you all very much. I'll have to apologize for my voice here already. I think I'm at the end of this cold that many of us have enjoyed over the last month. I had hoped that maybe it would make me sound more like James Earl Jones, but I think it's more like Johnny Most after his third pack of Camels. So I'll get through it, and I will be brief. So it's our great honor to be here with you again tonight. I believe this is the 23rd year that MEMIC has sponsored the Chamber's annual dinner here in Greater Portland, and I think I've been at every single one. As I was thinking about this night, I think it's important to sort of sum up what we've seen, what we've been around, and I can't help but go back to John Kennedy's quote about the rising tide. The rising tide lifts all boats, and in a place like Portland, that certainly makes sense to all of us. I will say, though, if you allow me a brief story, it doesn't necessarily make sense in all parts of the country. A couple of years ago, my family and I had the chance to host a Portland Sea Dog player and his girlfriend for the summer, and they stayed with us. And one of the great side benefits, they were wonderful people, they were from North Carolina. One of the great side benefits was we met some of the other players and wives and friends, and one of the girlfriends was talking to me one night about her boyfriend, who was a pitcher from Iowa, who had told her how much he liked Portland before she arrived because it was so beautiful, but it was much more beautiful after it rained. And after she was around with him for a couple of weeks, she said, why do you like it better when it rains? And he said, well, I was driving around Baxter Boulevard the other day, and it was all muddy. And then today it rained, and it's all filled up. They don't have tides in Iowa. Anyway, we are here quite literally enjoying a rising tide, or I'd like to be enjoying a day mark tonight. Thank you, Heather and Nathan. But the rising tide that is lifting all boats here in Portland, we've seen a fintech company that's been built here, led by a female CEO, international in scope, really leading our community. We had my friend Dave and Cindy come up and talk about the boats that they're helping to raise with the immigrants who they're hiring. And of course, we have Rising Tide right there in Bayside. We're seeing all over our harbor building going up. We see small businesses thrive and grow. We're seeing wages rise. We're seeing buildings rise along our avenues. And we're hearing from around the country that Portland is a great place to be. Of course, make no mistake that we still have more work to do to make sure prosperity makes it to all corners of our city and our region and our state. But I would argue that while we're all here working in our own corners, your chamber, the Portland Regional Chamber of Commerce, is one of those gravitational forces that really makes the tide rise. So thank you, the chamber. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Quincy, for this wonderful night. Thank you all for being here. I congratulate the winners again and say you can enjoy the reopening of the bar, the dessert, music from DJ Spencer Albee, and some more conversation. Have a good night.